Hi guys, welcome. It's Dima here. Another Sunday market outlook, another weekly review, analysis of what we got going on this week in the charts. Hope you're well and you had a good trading week last week and a good weekend. Let's begin with what we've got for this week. I've got our shortlist here on the side for what I've picked for this week. Pretty much a continuation on from last week with a couple of different charts, and we are following along with the market and the high probability setups. This week we have a busy week, a busy economic calendar. So let's begin with the calendar and see when and where we have our news. Right, here we are on the economic calendar on the site. So September 18th, Monday. Let's begin with that. We've got some house price news from the pound. Nothing here that is major news for Monday. High impact news. We're looking for those three bars. September 19th, Tuesday, we have got building permits from the US. So on the dollar there, CPI on CAD from Canada. What else do we have? Other medium impact news. But those are the two. Then the next day, which is Wednesday 20th, we also have some medium impact yen news, and then we have CPI on the pound and PPI as well. What else do we have? So that's pound. We also have a big one, the federal funds rate. So that's a major one to watch out for. That's a big one combined with the FOMC. That is the big one for the week, I would say. And we also have GDP figures here from New Zealand. And then 21st, which is a Thursday, some Australian news, reserves, a big one from Switzerland on the Swiss franc SNB rate. And we have a big one again on the pound, which is the bank rate from the Bank of England. Another major one, we have initial jobless claims on the dollar. Another major one to watch for after the FOMC. So next day we've got Thursday, we've got home sales again on the dollar there. That's another major one. And then what do we have? 22nd to end the week, we've got CPI numbers from Japan. That's one to watch for. And medium impact news from Australia. Is there anything else? Yeah, we've got a rate decision as well from Japan there. So lots of big news this week, lots of rate decisions. Let's see how we can manage with that. That's a major news, and many in 1 week. This is going to be an interesting week to watch. Make a note of all of those for yourself and the day and timing so that you know. Let's have a look now at the charts properly. Do come back and familiarize yourself with the calendar because it's important to keep track, especially with such a busy week. Each day you may want to come back and check it out. Let's go back to the chart and let's see how we can break down this week's price action. Here are the charts we've got for this week. And the short list, pound dollar is bullish, weak pound, strong dollar yen, bullish CAD yen, bullish euro pound, bullish euro New Zealand, bearish euro CAD, and bullish oil, and then bearish sell idea on gold. What you want to pay attention to is the fact that we've got several euro-based news here. Some are bullish, some are bearish. So that is something to bear in mind because we are going against the... we're basically betting on euro on both sides, and essentially. And there's some on the yen here. And taking into account the fact that all of these include the news match up with news for this week. So we do have dollar news, we have pound news, we have yen news, dollar again here. We have news from Canada, again euro pound news, New Zealand. There is one bit of news this week. Euro CAD, again both euro news and CAD. Oil linked to CAD somewhat, and gold, of course, linked to the dollar, FOMC, and funds rate. Let's go through each of them one by one. Beginning, as always, with the dollar. It's one to always watch out for. And as with last week, week before that, and the week before that, we were bullish all along. And here we've got that bullish continuation. The market is just like a runaway train, really bullish all the way. Now that we've hit this point to the left, we have the next one here, and dollar is bullish. Continuing on that idea, and as you can see, this is what we had and continued on there. And next, what do we look for? Well, the high probability seems to indicate that we are heading into this high up here. So still bullish, especially just before Monday, Tuesday, before the FOMC on Wednesday and the funds rate on Wednesday. Okay, that's the bullish idea. Overall, this would be next invalidation point once we've created this swing. And as you can see, the days are all bullish. So definitely continuation of the bullishness there. Let's have a look. This is the euro dollar that we looked at, starting with the weekly. We looked at the beginning of last week, heading into this low and then this low, which we have now reached these targets. So let's leave the euro alone and actually have a look at the pound. And the reason is because the pound has not hit these lows. So here's the low that we haven't yet reached on the pound. We have just about reaching this one. And that would be the idea. So bullish, the euro's already ran lower. The pound is now following suit, and then we have the bullish dollar. Let's have a quick better look at the pound dollar here. So here's last week, ran all the way lower. We're now heading into this first target and then the next target after that. What do we want to wait for? Well, what do we have? Let's have a look. We've got a bit of a level here. So the first idea would be a run higher. Obviously, we want to get a better price. Coming back, if we come back into these levels, then it'll be a run lower. Let's mark our invalidation point, which would be this high up here. So if we reach this high and the market reaches this high, we'd have to reassess. We really want to get a better price. Now, if we don't and the market just travels lower, then a pullback to then continue to the downside. And this would be the next level to watch for. Something like so. That would be the other possibility. So the other possible scenario. Really continuing lower and lower on the pound. Very easy to see that it is weak, it is bearish. Let's just adjust this one, make it accurate. So here we are. And after that, let's see if we break down even lower and go into the next lows, which would be down here and so on down here. So we got 1, 2, and target number 3, which is at the roughly 1.22 figure. Okay, let's go back to the weekly. You can see that on the bigger picture. That is the pound dollar. Let's move on to the next one. If you like this video, hit the like button, place a comment if you have any comments, and if you haven't subscribed already, we're doing this 3 times a week, regularly updating the charts, and you can follow along. Next one, dollar yen, another one we looked at last week. And dollar yen, of course, with the bullishness on the dollar, weakness on the yen, I'm seeing continuation on dollar yen. Here's the next target to look for, and the one after that if we look to the left, and then the extreme high up here. Now we've got the weekly candle. This candle left a wick, closed neutral. It was bearish based on the opening price. However, we have left this wick, and now what we're looking for is the next opportunity to continue to the upside. This was the idea last week. If I go down the time frame, maybe make it a bit clearer, and here is that level. We didn't head lower, we actually moved higher, so we didn't get that better price. Let's just delete all of these. We've got this now, this low now becoming the invalidation point. And we've got this as the next level. Let me just remove that. And the idea would still be to come down. We may hit this one more time. Perhaps that would be great to get a better price. And somewhere here, some kind of reversal to continue to the upside. At least until FOMC, because we don't know what's going to happen. FOMC, lots of volatility, so let's wait and hold out for that. And of course, we're going to reassess. We're going to have a follow-on on Thursday, which will be the day after. Let's see, it'll be interesting to witness what happens there, if anything. Okay, that's the idea on the dollar yen. The other idea, of course, is if we break, let's just have this, if we break this high and we just continue running up higher, then the alternative scenario would be break again, pulling back and continuing to upside, with this being the invalidation point at the last swing low. Okay, that is the dollar yen. Hope that is clear. Next on the list is CAD yen, another one similar to the dollar yen. CAD is, well, oil is bullish, so CAD will technically have some strength in it. Last week bullish, that's what we expected. We ended up bullish. Here's the next target, clear to see. We haven't quite hit it, have we? We just about missed it. So that's the first area, obvious target to watch for, and then we have the next obvious high up here. Let's have a look on the daily. Here we are, very bullish, 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 bullish all the way. And I can now delete all of these. And what we can do is now look for the next possible entry. Because of the bullishness, we don't want to be chasing. This is an expensive price. We want a better price. Let's have a look down a time frame. And where's the better price? Well, we've got a bit of a level going on down here. So let's see, the ideal scenario would be the better price, coming lower, making some kind of reversal, and then continuing to the upside. However it'll do it, something like so. And that is the scenario. Of course, once again, just like the dollar yen, the other idea is if we breach this high, once we clear this high, we'll get a pullback, a better price, and then continuing to the top side. So that's the other scenario there playing out. And then validation point, the last obvious swing, which would be this swing right here, where we moved away from this consolidation. So I'll be watching for this area. Let's have a look as we go along how the price action develops. The candles will ultimately tell the story for us. Okay, zooming out, you can see that clear bullishness continuing higher, and this was that low of last week here. So a retracement, better price, and getting once again moving higher still. That's what the probabilities at least show. We never know what's going to happen. Who knows, it may just completely dump and the whole thing breaks up, but so be it. We'll follow along with the price. Right then. Next one on the list is Euro Pound. What do we see on Euro Pound? Well, clear bullishness. We were expecting this reversal. We have this low, brief pullback, continued higher and higher still. Now we have our targets marked out from last week. As you can see, this was the area we're interested in, and the market has swung higher and now making a new swing down here. What's interesting about this is that we marked our invalidation. The market just pipped it, took the invalidation out, and then ran higher with force. So you can see there was no price action here to speak of, and we actually moved low instead. What we now see is that we ran lower but didn't close lower. It's very tricky. Sometimes this is going to happen. So be it. The market will sometimes be messy and trick you, and that is just how it is. What next? What next is, now that we can get rid of all of these. That's already in the past. The next thing is, now that we've cleared this high, we're now moving to the next high, which is here. That's the next target, and then the one after. It's quite clear to see, and this I would consider a big confirmation push higher. You can see it clearer on the daily, engulfing candle, massively bullish, continuing bullish as expected. What next? Well, what next is we're going to wait for a better price. So some kind of retracement to get a better price would be preferable, then to continue higher and just, yeah, basically keep going to the upside. That's where the bias is showing at the moment. The probabilities are showing to the upside. So let's go with that and continue with that. No, definitely not selling anything here. So this is the invalidation point, the last swing low. As always, we're going to follow the process and wait for the next swing to form during the week. That's the bullishness on the euro pound. See the previous week closed higher, closed bullish. Very simple to see. Even though it looks like we are in a consolidation, we did analyze it on a higher time frame a few weeks ago, and we have had what we expect. So therefore, we go along with the analysis. Okay, that's the euro pound. Let's move on. And now we're going to look at euro New Zealand. I believe we did look at this a couple of weeks ago as well. And if we could have just a quick peek at the monthly. Why did we look at bullishness? Well, you could see previous month was bullish, and now we're looking for that continuation this month, September. We're having that brief pullback, a retracement. All of this is seen as a retracement in my eyes, because the probabilities are showing the upside. Therefore, any move lower is kind of a retracement. So I'm going to carry on with the trend, look for an entry, and preferring here Euro New Zealand over Pound New Zealand, because we just analyzed Euro Pound and Euro is stronger than the Pound, relatively speaking. Because of that, what we look for is the next highs. So here's the next high as a target to watch for. The first obvious high is the high of the previous month, so we could see that. And if we go into the weekly, this being a retracement, we're going to look for some kind of reversal. This low was the obvious invalidation point. Now we have invalidated it, so we're going to reassess. I'm going to delete all previous analysis from the last weeks. And if we look at this whole picture, and what we can see is that we have a swing from this low to this high, and we can see that if we mark the halfway point, we can notice that at the moment price is in this cheap area. So we have taken this out, and now let's see whether we are going to hold. If you like to draw zones, you can draw your zones here at this level, and let's see if this level now holds. I can in fact extend it even better. Let's see if this level holds, and we do get a reversal now that we are at a cheap price. Let's have a quick look now on the daily. And what we can see is that we have a potential reversal forming here on the daily picture. Just quickly delete all of these. Now we don't need that. So what do we see? Well, we have a potential reversal, but yet not confirmed. Quick look on the 4 hour. And what are we going to wait for here? Well, the idea would be to have a break of this high, and then to confirm that, nice bullish momentum to come back to create a better price, and then continuing to the top side. And if we reach this high, then we'll go from there. We'll see what we can do. We'll reanalyze when we get there. At the moment, too early to tell. Don't want to be predicting the future. Let's see whether we actually get a break higher. And ultimately, I'd expect this high to be broken and all of these highs along the way through the retracement. The clue will be in the daily. If we get another daily close higher and a break of this day, which was Thursday last week, I will expect that to hold. So the new invalidation point will actually be this low down here. Now that we have broken through, and we're going to witness and observe if we actually hold or if we break lower. Now, if the market breaks lower, like so, then we're just going to leave this alone until we can see some kind of confirmation or some kind of reversal back up into the upside if it actually happens. At the moment, we just have to wait and see, because we don't have enough information or enough price action to see what we want to see in terms of high probabilities, just stacking the probabilities in our favor, really putting everything together, basically all the parts to be in place. Back to the weekly. As you can see, so far the candle is showing weakness, closing below the previous week's low. Therefore, no sign of bullishness quite yet. Okay, now I'm going to move on to Euro-CAD. Bearing in mind this bias to the sell side is against what we have going on in the euro. So Euro Pound was bullish, Euro New Zealand bullish idea, and Euro CAD now bearish. Why bearish? Well, let's have a look here. On the monthly, we have a very big momentum move. I'm going to take the last obvious low, which is down here, to the high. What we can see is that we are still at an expensive price, and the Fibonacci levels here would be about 61.8 and 78 down here. So no, I expect that we may be still in a retracement phase, and these highs will still hold. Why? Because look on the weekly, we have weakness, we have this low being broken, this low now being broken. So these lows being broken, if you like to draw a trend line, you can see a trend line being broken, and the next obvious target would be these lows, and then ultimately these lows, and then perhaps going down further into the cheaper price, the next lows. Don't know how far it'll go, no idea at the moment. What it's showing is a sign of weakness, which is this bearishness. So last week candle, very bearish indeed. Here's that weekly candle, and looking for that continuation at least to this level. So that'll be the first target. Quick look on the daily. As you can see, weakness there. We can draw a bit of a level that we've seen here. And if we go down into 4 hour, we can see our last swing point, which was here. Therefore, this would be the invalidation point. So if we break through this, no longer bearish. And the best thing to do would be to wait for a better price, some kind of reversal price action, whatever it is, down into the next planned area. So this would be the idea, the setup. Of course, the alternative, as always, will be just to break down lower and then some kind of retracement, some kind of new swing being formed. Perhaps this will be a level in the future. I don't know. At the moment, we have to see how the price action works out. It's always quite good to wait for, not quite rush into Monday, wait for Monday's candle to close. And as you can see here, Friday's candle was inside bar, Harami, and that is indecision, a brief pause. Really want to see the market come out, come back up, give a better price, and then drop lower. That would be the high probability scenario. Yep, so that is Euro CAD. Here it is on the weekly again. And let's see if we head lower. Okay, next one is oil, and oil, another one we were anticipating to go higher, continuing on the bullishness, waiting to see what would happen around this whole number, the 90 level, and we have basically broken through it and just ripped through, just did not come back, did not create a reversal, did not really create pullback, it was very shallow, wasn't it? Let me see, what do we have here? Yeah. We did have a brief pullback here on Wednesday, created this pin bar. And yeah, that was about the only opportunity. And so it continued. Let's now delete this. Delete all of these. Let's reassess now. Here's the daily again. We can see that we are ripping higher. So what we'd expect is this high to be taken. Now the tricky thing is, again, you don't really want to be buying at such an expensive price when we really moved so much higher. What would we look for next? Well, really want to wait for a better price to form once again if we are going to go higher. And we have this level here. Ideally, it would be much better to get a better price and then continue higher. However, you know, that may not happen. The other alternative would be like so, as with the previous ones. If we clear this level with conviction, with force, with momentum, and then we're going to look to this possibility if the market gives it to us. If we break this low, where is it? Here, yeah. This will be the invalidation. And then we may look for lower prices. However, still very bullish. We are punching through this whole number and looks like oil just does not want to stop. Kind of almost a runaway train. Okay, here's that daily. Clear bullishness for now. No reversal, nothing to see here in terms of the downside. There's a brief trend line here. Basically just looking for an entry and continuing on that trend. Okay, and last but not least is gold. What do we have going on gold? Well, we were looking for a possible swing last week to go short, which we did have here. And we had this level that the market went into, headed lower, and then actually came back through it. So let's now reassess, look at this again, and now we have to ask ourselves the question, is this really a swing? We've got this break of structure, and is this a swing to continue lower? These were our initial targets, which we did not actually reach. We briefly went lower, but then the market reversed. So let's have a look where we are now. We still have this level that we are respecting. If we break right through here, and this is still the invalidation point, if we break through the invalidation, then we'll no longer be interested. However, if the market does give a swing here and continues lower, some kind of reversal, continues lower, and then we will have the next possible entries to look for. But first of all, we'd really want to see that reversal happen before actually considering it, because at the moment we don't want to assume that this is going to hold. Wait for the reversal and then go from there. So the bias to sell still holds. We had these lows broken on the 4-hour to 40-minute, and now we want to see a continuation of that, even though we've come back into these highs. So let's see whether this zone, this area, will still act as a kind of resistance point to the price. Ideally, we'd want to see the daily candle. At the moment, the daily is still bullish. Really want to see a reversal and a swing to head lower. As you can see, the bearish scenario is where we're at on gold, and I believe that is all. Yep, so that is the week in the markets, and I hope these charts help you. As always, check out the website and keep track of the economic calendar to know where you're at. Watch out for FOMC this week, the middle of this week, and we do have the other news, of course, the ones we made a note of. We have the rates, we have the pound, some major news, CAD's major news, yen. It's actually across the board almost. Really want to watch out for this week. Right, guys, thank you very much for joining me. Once again, I will be here with you Tuesday, Thursday, so subscribe if you haven't already to get those notifications, and we'll go through the markets together and see where we're at if the opportunities progress. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.